Hello everyone, Ben Williams out here. Hopefully you can hear me. It's a little breezy out here today, but I'm checking on this gorgeous looking corn plot right here on a client piece of property. We designed putting this in this year. Tried beans on it last year. Unfortunately, a little bit too high deer density for the beans we had without fencing appropriately for it. And I mean, you can see we just got a nice, beautiful stand of corn, nice spray down. Got a great kill. I mean, you can see it's right down to, nothing. And I'll show right up here, there's a good learning thing for if you're doing corn or any other, Roundup Ready product. It's key to get that weed control, and we'll look at it, up here in a second. But I just wanted to walk over this field once, take a look at how the spray went, how the burn down went, and looking really good. Didn't miss too many spots. So, but what we got here, I mean, we're nice. We're knee high to belt high across the field. It's looking pretty nice. I mean, as you can see, feels like Field of Dreams out here in this thing. But up here, there was a swath that I must have not, calculated my overlap of my sprayer, and I missed like 2 rows of corn up here. But this obviously got a good burn down. A little bit thinner here in the soil. So this half actually up here, this was all grasses like you see out here next to me. Mixture grasses, a little bit goldenrod, stuff like that out in it. That's all what this was last year. We just disced this in, got a good spray on it after planting. Actually planted right into the sod. We didn't even do an initial burn down. And then this half over here was what we had the beans last year. So that's actually growing a little bit better. It's got a little bit better color to it. But I wanted to talk about in this little video the importance of spraying. And you can see these are nice, deep green, good healthy plants, not stressed out. You got good spacing, good rows. I think we went with 30-inch rows on these, something like that. But right here you can see this is what this field would look like if I didn't spray it. This is my spot that I missed. It's literally these 1 or 2 rows that kind of turn, well, I guess it'd be 3 rows, 1 tractor width worth of spraying or less. I must have missed it with my overlap. This was the end of the spraying that night. I was spraying right up till about 9 o'clock at night with the lights on, so must have misjudged where my tractor tires were. As you can see, burned down to mix of grasses, because that's what's going to come back when we don't spray accordingly. And you can see if you look out at it, you got a tinge here. You see the tinge right in the grasses where the corn's nice and dark, but you get this tinge here. So what I'm assuming is going to happen is we're going to have a competition issue here. It's just a little bit tall for me right now to come out, I think, and spray it with the 4-wheeler. It's not that big of a loss, so to speak. I'll probably come out, I don't know, it's too much to hand spray, but you can see it looks kind of anemic right here. You see this kind of lime that is getting to it? It's just getting competitioned out, and that's what you got to have, that spray, so that these plants don't get, here's a real good illustration of it. Just real anemic looking row. You can see it. It contrasts really well versus what's outside. I'll step over. You don't have none of that anemic look out here. This is all dark green, nice, good healthy leaves, good healthy plants. What you get in here, especially with these grasses, is they're fighting for that nitrogen. These are nitrogen hogs, this corn is. And this grass is another big nitrogen hog. So you're going to have issues along this. You can see it's actually a good 6-8 inches different side to side. This one's getting a little bit of okay because it's got a burnt down row right here. But on this side of it, where you get into this one where it's got competition on both sides, and then this one, you can see the height actually dips in this spot right here. So that's just a really good illustration about why it's important to spray these. I mean, you look at it, we're looking at grass that's knee high, because this was just, rolled over sod from last year. We didn't, like I said, didn't even pre-plant spray. I figured I would be doing 1 or 2 applications of Roundup on this. But now that it's getting to the point where it's about canopied over the rows, as you can see, getting pretty close to it now, and getting close to the 4th, I probably won't do a follow-up treatment. I might have got some tinge on it. You can see I might have got some drift spray in. You can see a little bit of the goldenrod tinging off in a couple spots, maybe where the wind picked up or whatever it might be. But everything else, I mean, this is burnt down, looks just like a farmer field, really. But yeah, you can see the anemic kind of nitrogen lacking corn here. You see it's just yellow. Just yellowed out a little bit. So I'm assuming we're not going to get as good a yield from, you know, kernel and cob production from this row. But I literally walked every other row looking down it, and this is the only one that's showing an issue. I mean, across, I think we did 5.6, 5.7-ish acres, something like that. I have to look at my notes about how many acres it was. But yeah, I mean, look at how anemic it looks right here, right in that swath. So that's the importance of it, of spraying your Roundup Ready crops or having good chemical control to begin with going into a plot. This is the only plot we put in so far on this property. We did no summer food. We're moving away from that. We keep some clover for that early season draw, and then we flip everything over into a cool season annual, brassica, winter wheat, crimson clover, some of those various type species and blends into the annual plots, and then we flip-flop them a little bit with some perennial clovers on the sides, but set up in good hunting plots and good locations. So we got a lot more work coming on this property. Yeah, you can see it right here. Look at just that little bit of anemic green difference, and all that is just weed competition. So either we'd have to pump it full of fertilizer, which there's only so much it's going to be able to take up, you know, or you don't miss your spray line. I mean, you can see it's just got that little bit of a tinge where it's going to be working extra hard to make that kernel and make that happen. So, but other than that, I am very happy with this. This is a knee high plus, you know, to belt high. It's just looking good, And then right here we get into the headland going this way to block that lateral look down the rows. But I am super pumped with this. Hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I know I haven't done them in a while. I'm gonna try to get back on the shtick. I've been super busy finalizing buying my house and all that stuff, you know, mixed in with all the clients and everything that I've had going on. So it's been really busy, and had a time to check up on this, you know, plot, and I figured I'd shoot the video because that was a good illustration. But as you can see, the rest of this, there's no anemic look, and I got a good burn down on this plot for sure. A little bit of stuff still hanging on. Some of the thistle might not quite get a burn down kill on it, but the corn should shade it out here pretty soon. But other than that, this plot looks phenomenal. And then right about here is where we had beans planted last year. And we had some volunteer clover come up in it, actually, because this was a clover, and then we switched it over to a field for corn or for beans, and then it was still had some residual clover, because a lot of this white clover isn't going to burn out with your glyphosate. So, but this looks good, all nice. Walking in a headland row right now. Good burn down here. A little bit of tractor damage from the rows, but I mean, this is the only damage. And as you can see, where I had to cut over the headland row versus the straight, you know, east-west row or whatever you want to call it with this field. But this is looking good. I'm loving this. Looks great. Had actually a turkey dust bowl right where I parked the truck. That was cool. A lot of turkeys on this property, a lot of deer on this property. It's a great property, and I'm looking forward to helping this landowner manage it. And then right here, I mean, you can see where my spray kind of drifted a little past along the headland of the perennial clover that's out here. But I wanted to talk about this too while I'm out here in this video. And we're not mowing in June. A lot of people will say, you know, weedy fields. But if it's one of those fields, it's a perennial base. This clover is going to be nice and lush underneath. Right about now, you see a lot of these are just getting to the point where they're getting ready to start making some of their seeds, some of the timothy and stuff like that. The goldenrod hasn't set seed yet. We do have a lot of buckhorn plantain out here, but I'm not that concerned about it. But this is good brooding cover for those turkeys, to have their poults down in this, bugging and everything like that. There's pretty good space in this, you know, as you can see, but a nice mat of clover underneath. So probably here, beginning of July, we'll probably knock some of these down, you know, that's got some of this. We do have some thistle, which I'll have to keep the eye on this, because when this starts fuzzing out, I don't want this to keep going. We'll get rid of this thistle, because I don't want that obviously spreading. You can see there's a little pocket of it right here that just happens to be popping up. But we got some timothy coming up. That's fine. I don't mind that at all. A little bit of aster coming up. That's all good too. Or oxeye daisy. Sorry, not aster. Oxeye daisy in this field. But a good mix of You know, summertime food. And all this clover now, when I mow this, is all gone to seed already and gone to head. I mean, there you go. There's all your clover seed. Right in a nice mat of white clover underneath. So, but that's the big thing. I don't mow in June if I can absolutely help it, other than maybe like a perimeter trail or something around the outside of a field for accessing equipment through, checking trail cameras, doing tree stand stuff like that. But the rest of this I will leave, you know, pretty much standing because of the lush space of clover under it, and that's done really well for me too. And again, some of these annual forbs and other forbs that are out in this, oxeye daisy, the goldenrod, stuff like that, deer are going to utilize that and eat that in the summertime too. And I'm not worried about providing food for them right now. We want to provide for the hunting season particularly, because if this clover is, you know, cooked in November or December, whatever it might be, that corn's going to take over, you know, into that late season pull for us. So that's why we're complementing these perennial plots with an annual type plot of grain or greens, whatever it might be in the application. This one's a clover and then a grain plot. You know, that's why this is set up the way this is. Good access along that north end. There's also a new access going in along the south end. A lot of stuff going on with this. And if I had mowed it, this is what it would look like. This is the perimeter access trail to this property. Now the only problem I have with this is, for fawns, turkeys, everything like that, is this is 2 jumps to cover. I'm okay with that. If this was a full 2 acres of mowed down clover, yeah, it would look really pretty. We'd put it in a magazine, whatever you want to call it. We'd have it manicured up pretty nice. However, you picked off by predators, you're going to lower your fawn recruitment. You're going to lower, most importantly nowadays, your turkey recruitment, which is huge with dwindling numbers right now. So I would rather have it be kind of a field habitat for the summer months, and then we'll roll it right into a nice thriving clover. I'll give this a nice haircut. This will bounce right back up. I'll do it with a rain coming rather than doing it with extreme heat. Again, your timing is everything with these plots, whether it's no-till, whether it's, you know, doing your mowings, whatever it might be. All this stuff is timing. You got to time it to get the best out of it. I'm doing it this way. But other than that, I mean, it's fairly weed free. I mean, like I said, just some oxeye daisy, so quite a bit of timothy on this property, which is okay. Some brome, other stuff like that, a little bit of goldenrod, and some other wildflowers and annuals that have kind of popped up in it. But it's just a pretty plot, full of wildlife. There's bugs in there, bees in there, everything like that's loving it. Sure, the turkeys are in there loving it. There was a nice dust bowl we'll see up here by the truck when I end the video, but again, it's good cover. Fawns could be bedded in that right now. Turkeys could be having brood habitat in that right now. It's all just high quality management and not making it mowing like a golf course. Like I said, maintaining the trails, it's got to happen to get around the property, utilize equipment, stands, cameras, all that good stuff going on. So you got to have that for sure. But when it comes to some of the plots, if you're doing it the right way and have the right situations and conditions, it's for your benefit, you know, to leave it, you know, be the best that it can be for wildlife for that time of the year, going into those falls where we'll give her a haircut, tune her up a little bit. With that, make it a nice food plot once it's past the point of major predation on fawns and turkey poults and stuff like that. You know, get them through that first month or two, and then after that, the decrease in population definitely goes down. You know, from a predator standpoint. But yeah, when I was right here, I parked my truck right at the truck right here. The little laneway goes into another kind of overgrown field, but look at this big old dust bowl. Turkey feathers, fresh turkey feathers, gobbler feathers, big turkey tracks in and out of it. A couple feathers. Obviously they're doing a lot of dust in here on this plot, so got good grain going into the winter and the hunting season. That's going to be phenomenal for the turkeys and deer on this property. We'll knock down some of this with the brush hog right before season, so you can actually hunt over it and utilize it for a hunting draw, and then it'll just stage up in it, and then we'll have nice, like I said, clover on that part of the plot as well. But yeah, just a phenomenal layout on this piece. I'm super pumped the way this turned out. I was a little leery disking and putting it into the sod that was already here, and we put the corn in with the help of a local farmer to help plant it. and it just came out so good. I can't stress enough how good this looks. I'm super excited. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and the little tips along the way with the spraying of your Roundup Ready crops or into your plots that you're going to be planting. Chemical control is key, guys. Unless you have big roller crimpers and you're getting good kill with your roller crimper and stuff like that, you got to have weed control. Otherwise, you're not going to yield any net. And if you're putting in all that effort and time, you might as well do it and do it right to get the most from your investment of your time, because that's the most important resource that we all have is our time. It's not necessarily money. Money is definitely a limiting factor, but the most important thing to everybody that I've found working with clients and myself as well is my time is the most valuable thing, because you can't get it back. No matter what money you can work, get some of it back. You can, buy equipment, sell equipment. There's a lot of different ways, try to recoup some of the funds, do a timber harvest, other things like that. But when it comes down to it, the one thing you can't buy back is time. So timing is everything with these plots, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, let me know. I hope to be bringing these videos back once or twice a week, and get this kind of flowing, get some content back out there for you folks, because a lot of people were asking me why I hadn't been making videos lately. So here's the corn update, and hope you guys liked it, and I'll catch you all next time here in the field. Take care.